The queen of the Bronx and queen of love and hip hop, Cardi B, also known as the alcohol drink Bacardi, has built a legacy and lane for female hip hop just like Nicki Minaj, but on a much smaller level.
What? Child. Anyway, so.
And even though Cardi B has paved the way for many females in the hip hop industry, it's time for Cardi B to be released from Atlantic Records, in my honest opinion.
That's suspicious. That's weird.
Now, before I load my YouTube clip and get my shit off, I want to make it clear that I don't necessarily dislike Cardi B or her music discography. I understand that Cardi B has made an impact in music and has built up a strong fan base, but I also won't play no face. I've always felt a way about Cardi B and her hip-hop legacy because I never felt that she deserved her Grammy in 2018 for Best Rap Album, especially for not writing any of her records and for winning over one of my favorite artists of all time, Nipsey, who really put the hustle in his debut studio album, Victory Lap, that was way more impactful to hip-hop culture compared to Invasion of Privacy, in my honest opinion. But over the years, I've come to appreciate Cardi B as an artist and understand why she did win that award, with her debut album going gold essentially on the same day of its release on April 6, 2018, giving her 2 number ones on Billboard with Bodak Yellow.
She gon' do what or who? Let's find out and see. Cardi B.
And I like it.
Dollars, I like diamonds, I like stunning, I like shining. Like going to the jeweler, I put rocks all in my watch.
Whether I hate it or love it like The Game and 50 Cent, it does make sense why Cardi B would get awards and achieve milestone accomplishments with her debut project. Even though I have to give Cardi B her props where props are due, this second album has been due for a release date for at least 7 years, as she has released her debut album, Invasion of Privacy, back in 2018. But in all honesty, Cardi B and her record label really missed the perfect opportunity for her to release a sophomore album in 2021, after the release of her best single, in my honest opinion, with Up. Because I always remember that time when a bitch said that I was ugly too.
Once upon a time and I heard that I was ugly. I'm a bitch who nigga wanna fuck on. If it's up, then it's up, then it's up, then it's up.
And also remember the time like Michael Jackson. When that record literally was playing nonstop on radio and in the clubs from 2021 all the way to 2024, where the impact of the Up record was undeniable, almost similar to a Bodak Yellow type of record. Even though it didn't have the same success, it definitely gave Cardi B the momentum to have a very successful sophomore album. That Up record, including WAP with Megan Thee Stallion, set up the perfect sophomore album era for Cardi B in 2021 or even 2022. Cardi B and her record label literally missed on 2 years of prime opportunity to establish Cardi B as one of the greatest female hip-hop artists of all time. I'm sorry, but the Invasion of Privacy is never going to be enough for Cardi B, in my honest opinion. When you have Nicki Minaj with 5 studio albums, including her debut Pink Friday in 2010, then to go back-to-back with Pink Friday Roman Reloaded in 2012, with both going number 1 on US Billboard, then the Pink Print album in 2015, when Onika was feeling herself with Beyonce.
When some hood girls looking back at it, and let sex have it, these Chanel bags is a bad habit. I'm feeling myself, I'm feeling my carry on.
Her controversial album, Queen, that can easily be one of her best albums based off of lyrical ability, and more recently with Pink Friday 2, an album that restarted and reset a new standard for female hip-hop in the 2020s. Lil' Kim with her strong debut hardcore album in 1996.
Hey, yo, shorty, won't you go get a bag of the lethal? I'll be undressed in the bra all see-through. The only one thing I wanna do is freak you.
Then arguably her greatest album after that with the Notorious Kim in the year 2000, where she shows her independence from her main writer, the Notorious B.I.G.G.I.E., paying homage to the late great rapper, giving some of her best songs collectively in her music discography, no matter what people say.
You got it going on. You I can do that, baby. Take my crown, I ain't letting that go down. That's none of your concern. More money to burn. I guess you know by now who's number one. Brooklyn, that's where I want.
We can't forget about the La Bella Mafia era, where she had the magic stick with 50 Cent.
Got the magic stick. If I could hit once, I could hit twice.
I am the baddest chick. Show you magic. What?
Foxy Brown She also solidified her legacy starting with her debut album Il Nana in 1996.
What up, pop? Brace yourself as the ride on top. You ride right out your sight.
Get up and hit, y'all. We drop hits. One thing for sure.
Then not stopping in 1999 with her #1 Billboard sophomore album, China Doll, with her sleeper hits Hotspot and I Can't.
Change the fly. That chain was high. If we on the book.
Then delivering her reggae fusion hip-hop album, Broken Silence in 2001, with her legendary single, Oh Yeah, featuring Spraga Benz.
The most critically acclaimed rapstress in the game. Dark skin Christian Dior poster girl.
What about Eve, starting in 1999 with Let There Be Eve, Rough Riders' first lady, with her crazy lead single, What Y'all Want.
Like I'm balling y'all, calling y'all, never chasing me down. Heartbroken, yes, you hating me now. What y'all is right here with me.
Then another sophomore classic for female hip-hop with Eve's Scorpion album in 2001, where we were all asking, who's that girl?
Who's that girl? Who's that girl? Yeah. Look into my eyes, think I want you, can't tell. Keep it gangster for the cowards, so I give them hell.
Like her lead single that blew our mind around the time with her second single titled Let Me Blow Your Mind, featuring Gwen Stefani.
Drop your glasses, face screwed up like you having hot flashes. Expressway, head back, weaving through the traffic.
And I ain't going nowhere. And I'm gonna take my time. Now let me blow your mind.
Then 2002, Eve had her evolution with her third album introducing Gangsta Lovin', the standout single featuring Alicia Keys.
Need you to understand me, daddy, I ain't your average. Doing it, dog, I'm well established. Might wanna give me your name, explain your status.
And please let me not forget Missy Elliott, who honestly, outside of Nicki Minaj, is truly the #1 queen of female hip-hop in my honest opinion.
Yeah, that was crazy. I shouldn't have said that.
Setting the standard as a hip-hop artist, prominent writer, and producer, like her main producer, Timbaland, starting in 1997, where she couldn't stand the rain on her Super Duper Fly debut album.
The rain hits my window. We so tight that you get our styles tangled. Beep, beep, who got the keys to the Jeep?
Then to go to 1999 with Missy's sophomore The Real World album. That was for her ghetto motherfuckers.
This is for my ghetto motherfuckers.
With her standout single, Hot Boys.
Cause I'm impressed. I won't settle for less. Hot boy, I'm a fly girl. And I like those hot boys.
Her third album, Miss E, So Addictive, in 2001, where she got her freak on.
Mississippi putting it down. I'm the hottest round. Then come on, get me now. Freak on, get your freak on.
And couldn't stand a 1-minute man, featuring Ludacris.
Boy, I'ma make you love me. And I'ma give you some attention. Wake me up, show me what you got. No 1-minute man.
But man, let me tell you about that 2002 project, Under Construction, where Missy put her thing down, flipped it, and reversed it, with her standout single, Work It.
Is it worth it? Let me work it. It's your primitive is when yet. Let me search it to find out how hard I gotta work, yeah.
Where does Cardi B really match up with these women when we're just talking about her debut album? Even though Invasion of Privacy is one of the best hip-hop albums when it comes to Billboard success and record sales, it still will never compare to Miseducation of Lauryn Hill or an artist like Lauryn Hill, who is able to have the same type of relevancy and legacy based off one album. And let's not forget her time with the Fugees. Lauryn Hill has already established herself before her debut album. Cardi B having one album to this day is not enough for her to be considered one of the best female hip-hop artists, in my honest opinion. And I truly believe that Cardi B's heart is not in the music anymore, as she has always been able to captivate and make money, attracting fans to the actual person she is that makes for very funny moments and memories in the culture. And just like her daughter Culture, I understand that Cardi B is a mother and it's difficult to deal with a narcissistic baby daddy like Offset. But it's time for her to unplug and reconnect with her fans that love her specifically for her music. Because the way Cardi B is going down,
I'm going down, baby. My whole world.
In her legacy for music, it won't be too long before she'll be singing like Janet Jackson, where she don't know what she got till it's gone.
Joni Mitchell never lies.
And that's the love and loyalty from her starving hip-hop fan base that rocks steady rocking all night long. For Cardi B. Here is why Cardi B should be released from Atlantic Records and become an independent artist, in my honest opinion. Less pressure and more creative control. One thing's for sure, if we never get a sophomore album from Cardi B, we will always rely on her going on a live stream, cussing out her fans.
Shut the fuck up! About to delete my whole fucking social media because y'all don't shut the fuck up!
Shut up, just shut up.
But y'all the ones that be complaining about fucking everything. I dropped fucking 4 songs in a fucking month. What else y'all want? My fucking pussy?
Damn!
Shut the fuck up!
Just shut up, shut up.
Or either her record label subliminally, where it seems that she has been feeling the pressure ever since 2018 to deliver another impactful album like she did with Invasion of Privacy. And even though I understand that it could be tough to compete with your first debut album that literally broke records within the same day of its release, she has been clearly stuck trying to set the same expectations and success with her follow-up album for years, which probably has not sat well with Atlantic Records and the main force behind her career, Michael Kaiser, who has been fired from the same record label, most likely for not being able to help Cardi B promote or release that second album that everybody's been waiting for. Because again, Atlantic has been putting in a lot of money and time into her dropping her sophomore album that has never showed up, especially with the amazing visuals for her Up record in 2021 and the WAP record with Megan Thee Stallion in 2020, where that record could have easily gone to Megan Thee Stallion for her own album, with Megan already dropping 3 projects while we're still waiting on Cardi B to drop another project since 2018. The timing of everything is never connecting for Cardi B when it comes to her releasing a sophomore album. Even Cardi B's single that made it to the top 10 in 2024 with Like What, paying homage to Missy Elliott.
Classy in a cunt. Like what? Like a coach bag, baby, this ain't what you want.
The M.I. brr, cat like a semi. She's a bitch when you say my name. Talk more jump, but won't look my way.
If I ask for it, I wanna hear is yes. Bitch says she wanna be my op, God bless.
Would have been a perfect time to release a sophomore album right after it hit top 10. But again, this is my biggest problem with Cardi B, having the access to the record label and budgeting and connections in hip-hop that she has had, because she clearly does not respect her own hip-hop fans and craft. But in all honesty, who would respect their own hip-hop craft or their hip-hop fans when they're never writing or contributing to their own raps?
Damn!
Again, I'm not saying she has to be Kendrick Lamar here, but I think if Cardi B took the time to put more effort into her own pen, or even the creative control of her own records that are being written for her, maybe it would help her go far for a comeback that she's so desperately looking for under her Atlantic record label contract. And I promise you, I am not a rapper.
Super hot fire. I spit that.
And speaking of ghostwriters, to be honest, the only thing I really see Atlantic helping Cardi B with at this point is getting the best writers like Partisan Fontaine, which another missed opportunity I think from Atlantic and Cardi B was when she was given the feature for Partisan Fontaine's Backing It Up single in 2019.
You hate that like you hate when niggas tell you relax.
Bitches think they fucking with me, must be sick in the head. Won't you chill with the beef and get some chicken instead? Talk about it, bitch.
Get a bag, don't you?
That record at the time had positive reviews when it was released, especially with Cardi B's verse. But if that record was given specifically to Cardi B as a single for her sophomore album, with Partisan Fontaine being a feature instead, or including another A-list feature on that record would have gone much further for the record label and for Cardi B. Backing It Up in 2019, then WAP in 2020, Up in 2021, those are 3 perfect singles for a sophomore album from Cardi B. The same amount of help and support that Atlantic Records has been giving Cardi B could have been applied to so many other female hip-hop artists over the years that really deserve that same push and promotion from a big record label like Atlantic Records, who besides Cardi B has Bad Baby as a female hip-hop artist under their record label.
You dumb dirty bitch. You suck the dick straight out my ass. Who got the upper hand?
No,
If you want to count Lizzo, I guess, because she's black, but Lizzo is far from a rapper.
Had to cut some hoes loose, yeah. Now them hoes tryna sue me. Bitch, I don't give two shits. Okay.
Very talented, but you get my point? With artists like JT, Doechii, hell, even Glorilla, who really is doing an amazing job as a hip-hop female artist in this climate, really being able to push her own music under Yo Gotti's label. If she had a bigger push, she would even go further in her career. But despite my disdain for Cardi B's lack of desire to push her hip-hop career forward, I also have to give my respect to her at the same time, because she has still been able to maintain a social media presence without delivering her second album. And if she could buy out her contract, if she has enough money to do it, she should do that and start over fresh as an independent artist where we love it because she got her own, like Neo.
This is just my way of letting you know.
I love her cause she got her own. Independent queen working for her throne. I love her cause she got her own.
Even if she doesn't have the same success like she did with her debut album, at least Cardi B will not have the same expectations or pressure to deliver the sales compared to other female hip-hop artists that are signed under record labels, where she has to answer to a huge record label if the second album doesn't do that well. It seems like Cardi B would prefer more freedom and creative control instead of a strict, tight schedule with a record label, but then again, that makes me question, does she even care about being a hip-hop artist at this point? Or prolonging her hip-hop legacy? Because after 7+ years of having multiple top 20 and 10 hits being included on features and remixes that were able to help her prepare for a sophomore project,
Riding with my twin and and we all look good as fuck. I know that I'm rich, but I can help it, bitch, I'm hood as fuck. Bought a chain, I bought the same one, even bigger.
Can't say your name up in my songs, might not fuck with you tomorrow.
it seems like there's nothing left for the music career of Cardi B, in my honest opinion. My final thoughts. I really don't want to make it seem like I don't like Cardi B, because it's not about liking or disliking her music for me. It's more about her lack of respect for hip-hop culture, her hip-hop fans, and her own discography. Even though I've known since 2015 that hip-hop's biggest entertainer and sweetest pastry, Drizzle Marie, has not been the primary writer for his Billboard records for almost 15 years, I've always known that Drizzle Cake had enough love where he wasn't going to deliver just a bunch of BS excuses for not dropping albums over the years, where he lost his pen in exchange for the bag. And even though Drizzle Cake destroyed his own hip-hop career thanks to going up against an actual hip-hop artist and the king of hip-hop,
Say Drake, I hear you like I'm young. Wop, 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 wop. I'ma do my stuff. Why you trolling like a bitch? It's probably A minor.
Drizzle Cake still finds a way to feed his fan base, and I really feel that Cardi B should have taken notes from Mr. Cakes a long time ago to keep her same relevancy that she still has to some extent, enough to take her to a successful sophomore album, but if she really wanted to drop an album. But now after 7+ years of not releasing this highly anticipated project, or even an EP at this point, I am more convinced than ever that Cardi B needs to be released from Atlantic Records. Not because she's not a successful female hip-hop artist, because she has clearly built up her own legacy, but in all honesty, she does not deserve the same budget, promotion, or marketing from one of the biggest record labels that could be promoting other female hip-hop artists that are more deserving. Cardi B really needs to focus on her divorce proceedings and keeping as much of her money away from her poor baby daddy, Offset. It's time for her to take off.
Cap.
No pun intended. Sorry, not sorry. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and to any of my Cardi B fans or Carbs, I'm really sorry that I had to come for your queen. I understand that she has built a hip-hop legacy and she is a legend to some extent. I just can't stand when an artist like Cardi B, who comes into hip-hop really not appreciating the culture, continues to disrespect her own fan base and not even giving a sophomore album or EP at this point. She needs to make a change like MJ and look at the woman in the mirror. Because this whole sophomore album release date has gone on too long. Drop the album already. It's going to be successful whether you drop it today or tomorrow. Comment below what you think of Cardi B. Do you think that she is deserving of keeping her record label? Or do you think, like me, where she should just go independent and release music that she's not going to feel pressured from with the record labels on her back? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, go be amazing and have an amazing rest of your day.